Remember from last week, I said that I was getting sick? Yeah, I still am. And I've actually gone in twice and got COVID tests, and both were negative. So that's a plus side. Not plus side is thinking it was strep throat at first, came out negative for that test. It wasn't pneumonia, not influenza, and not bronchitis. But everything has the signs of every single one of them, though. I'm hacking up thick mucus, greenish yellowish, so nasally and stuffed up. My ears are even plugged. My throat feels like sandpaper caressing each other. Yeah, it's been a hell of a week. I actually had to miss work. I went one day this last week. But today, I'm a little, just slightly better. I'm able to hold my cough back and whatnot, but it's still pretty tough. Like, I'm still holding myself right now very tight because my chest kills. Welcome back to another episode of a Wander's Way podcast. I'm your host, Dustin. Thank you for joining me for this episode, as this is a special one for me. It's pretty much to commemorate the fact that it has been 1 year. When January 23rd comes, it'll be 1 full year that I've had this podcast out. I've actually accomplished my goals that I didn't think I would. And it actually took me until October to find Good Pods. Once I jumped on Good Pods and I built a community with people, I've actually got more views, more ratings, and more people that like my podcast, and there's more consistent listeners. And it's awesome. It is really awesome. Before that, I had nothing. And, when I first started, so the first, I want to say 4 months, I was still trying to understand podcasting. I was still trying to find my voice. On top of that, I felt kind of defeated at times, but I kept pushing them out because I was lonely. That's why I started the podcast. I was lonely, and I wanted to start something where I can talk and share my views and opinions and have something with people around the entire world. But, I kept pushing out. Like people said, just push it out. And then I found my own voice for the podcast. I found new ways so I could sound better without having to sit here and edit for hours on end or anything like that. I've experienced having an amazing time with a couple interviews when they went really, really well. I was actually surprised after that, and I had great comments for that. And then I just fell in love with podcasting in general. Like, I am fully fledged podcast lover. I love it, I love it, and I love it. And I'm not going to stop. I don't care what my views are, if they're crap, if they're good, if they're okay, if they're mediocre, blah, blah, blah. I enjoy podcasting, and I know a lot of you out there that are actually listening enjoy listening to this. So I hope you guys will always stay with me. Always also bring me your suggestions on what you enjoy about my podcast, what you like over everything else, what days that you actually listen to the podcast, because that would help me out too, to know what days are the best to release, or if you don't care. With that being said, let's start this episode. So I have some voice messages I want to kind of add on to this from someone that listened to my Pokémon episode a couple weeks back. So with that being said, here it is.
Hey, it's Mark again. I just listened to your Pokemon podcast twice now. And I'm surprised that Sword and Shield has sold almost just as much as Silver and Gold when it first launched, because Sword and Shield is not great when it comes to graphics. The story is terrible. A lot of the mechanics kind of are wonky, and it wasn't that enjoyable. I mean, it has some great features, but as a game, it's not my favorite. It's my least favorite Pokemon game that I've played. And then Diamond and Pearl came out. I have Shining Pearl, and I love it. I'm just like, I miss the complicated routes to go through and just how long it would take to just play through a game where that's fairly easy. You just press A. But yeah, I just wanted to leave a comment. I'm really appreciating your work.
All right, so I agree and disagree with you at the same time. So I agree on the fact that it's different. There are some features that are kind of missing hit, but I disagree with you on the graphics and the funness of the game. Actually, it's the first Pokemon game since Gold and Silver that I actually have enjoyed. The other ones were kind of bland. And I do have Brilliant Diamond, which is better than the Shining Pearl in my opinion because of the Pokemon. Um, but I just can't finish it yet. I get bored. And I think it's because I played the same style of Pokemon games for so long that I'm just tired of the same thing. And that's why I'm very interested in the brand new Pokemon game coming out on a day before my birthday this month. Um Dude, I don't know if you've paid attention to it or not. However, that is absolutely phenomenal. The way it looks. And I know some people are talking about, oh, the graphics aren't. Well, I like the graphics. I think they fit perfectly. I don't think they need to be like an Xbox One or any kind of graphics like that. I think the graphics, how they are looking good for the stabilization of the game and also for the style of the game. And I think it's just perfect. And also, the views of a graphics is pretty much subjective, so nothing against you. But for the funness of Sword and Shield, I actually enjoyed it. Now the post game is when it stops for me. Like I've tried and I've tried and I've tried to sit there and fight to get shinies and stuff, but I just get so bored. I've already collected all the Pokemon. I've already beat all the gyms, which were so easy. The game was too easy for me personally. So, but Sword and Shield was fun. I did like the storyline. Um, I did like the character developments and different characters that they had in there. But when it came to the post game, after beating this whole story, after catching your legendary Pokemon and everything, and then all you have is the tower and the just online. Someone who loved Pokemon Stadium and they added that kind of feature for the online deal. It's cool, but people are too damn good. And it frustrates me, so I don't go on there. Now, if we had that Pokemon Stadium style outside of the online portion, so it'd be offline, but more of an AI that's more intelligent, so it can be more difficult in a way, it'd be good. The only thing we had was the tower, and that tower was, boring for me, so. But yeah, thank you for leaving your voice messages. I really appreciate them, and I love to hear your thoughts along with everybody else's. So keep them coming. All right, so since we're speaking about Pokemon, let's really give a chat about the brand new stuff we just seen. The new Pokemon game, Legends Arceus. Man, they came out with what I think it was like 13 minutes of gameplay, and they showcased a lot. Like, it looks amazing. The things you can do, the new way to be an actual trainer makes it feel right on screen and everything, not going to a second battle screen and coming back and all these crap, everything's right there. Now that is a step up into the more modernization. However, it's a good step to the modernization. The graphics, everyone complains that the graphics could be better. Well, you know what? For me, I prefer less lowered graphics and better gameplay. with a storyline. I mean, if everything else is good, those graphics do not matter whatsoever. And I'm tired of the Pokemon fan base always criticizing everything. Yeah, I have my games that I can't stand in Pokemon. Like, for example, Let's Go Pikachu. The worst game series ever. But some people enjoy it. And I still don't know why. But the motion controls on the Switch suck. And they suck really bad with that game. So. But outside of that, you know, the graphics were good for the Let's Go Pikachu. Obviously, it's based off of Yellow. You know, the original game series. Like, that was, you know, it's good. It's good if they did not have the idea of Pokemon Go catch and throw. I'm sorry, but you gotta have the battling. That's the whole point of Pokemon. Is going out, battle, catch Pokemon. Go to the gyms, battle, win a, you know, a little thingy my badge. Move on to the next one and keep repeating it. Going and catch and throw and never battle, it's really dull. But that's what I like about the new game. So, you know, someone had a question on, is it going to be like Breath of the Wild, where you can go from one thing to the next of transportation-wise? I think that's what someone said was Breath of the Wild, you can do that. I still haven't played Breath of the Wild. What the hell is wrong with me? I've been stuck on like a million other games, and I still haven't gotten Breath of the Wild. I know, I'm slow. However, so it showcased in this that jump on and you can fly, and then you can jump onto another kind of mode of transportation. So it's really cool, and it kind of flows. It makes the game flow, makes the game work. Thank God they did bring back the customization for characters, clothing, face, all that kind of stuff. That's what we desire, and it brings them a whole new immersion, and that's something I enjoyed about Sword and Shield. They had that customization that made me feel like I was actually in the game. Now, the battling looks really good. I really enjoy the fact that you can go from strong to agile, and it changes, and it has a strategy. So I'm really hoping the AI is really tough. Because if the AI is tough, I'm going to be really happy. Really, really, really happy. It gives me something to work for instead of being like, okay, I beat it. Yay, I'm bored. Aha. Like, that's what I usually get out of Pokemon games. Except the originals. The other thing I really like about the game is what I've been talking about for years. Is like an open world kind of way. You know, it's not fully open. It's mostly open, though. And I'm fine with that. It doesn't need to be an expansive open world. What I love about it is that you get to do what I've been wanting to do this whole time. Be a real trainer, throw a Pokeball, catch a Pokemon. If you can't catch it, you throw your Pokemon out and battle. That's what you see in the shows, and that's what I really like about this. And I hope it transforms. I hope it does well enough to where they will bring this into future ones. But I don't know if they're going to be doing that or not, because with the new generation Pokemon coming out, maybe most likely at the end of this year, you know, November-wise, they might be doing a more traditional style for that. But we'll see. But with that being said, I want to say thank you guys. Thank you all for listening to my podcast every week, being dedicated to listen, giving me my ratings. All of you on Good Pods, thank you so much. You have helped me out. You've brought a community to me that I never knew I could have, and I really enjoy it. So thank you so much, and thank you for being here with me for this first year. Here comes the year number 2.
This message is in reference to your Japanese foods podcast. I can't believe I randomly just clicked on that, but I'm glad I did. I like yakitori and Japanese curry and gyoza myself personally. And I'm kind of surprised you didn't mention Japanese curry on your top 10 list, because cocoa curry in Japan, especially for foreigners who visit, is like very popular. And yes, I agree with you. Japanese ramen is definitely the best. I am currently on a discovering new Asian cuisine kick myself, and things like ramen, Japanese curry, pho, Korean barbecues, love them. Also, I think the word you were looking for is izakaya. I know izakaya in Japan is just a specific type of restaurant, but in America, it's like Korean barbecue.